Just look at this little guy. It almost fills up the whole screen, and I'm like a foot and a half away from the camera. I'm Nate with Average Egg Archery Pro Shopping Range here in Phillipsburg, PA at averageeggarchery.com. Orders $99 and up, get free shipping. And today we're talking about the brand new Mathews ARC 30, the tiny little rocket launcher for 2026. If you haven't watched my video on the ARC 34, I will link that down in the description as well. You can check out both bows here, new Mathews launches for 2026. The ARC 30, lots of cool things going on with the ARC 30 and 34 this year. I think the ARC 34 is the best bow that Mathews has ever made. And I say that for Mathews. Kudos to them. I think they built a really tremendous 34-inch axle-to-axle platform that's super light. I don't get super wound about 30-inch axle-to-axle bows because I'm a giant individual. I'm 6'4". I got about a 31 and a half inch draw length, maybe a little bit longer in a target bow. And so these little guys, I can't shoot them. They don't actually fit me when they usually stop around 30 and a half inches of draw length. But there are tons of people that do want a little tiny lightweight bow package like this. So we're going to go through the ARC 30 today. Everything is going to be the same between the ARC 30 and ARC 34 in terms of the cam. Still the switch weight X cam. They put a little weight in here to make the bow faster, gives a little snap. You don't have to change then the draw cycle. So clever on Mathews, they used to put weights in their cams many moons ago when they were doing single cam stuff. Surprised that it's taken them this long to bring it back because it's free speed. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Still doing the switch weight X mods, but now they brought out the switch weight Z mods, which is basically a smooth mod and a performance mod feel. Now Mathews is going to call it a performance mod smooth mod because when you hear performance mod, you think horrible draw cycle. I will say that the switch weight X mod has not been a problem on draw cycle, either in the 29.5 or 33 in the Lift X series, and definitely not a problem here in the 30 and 34. I notice a huge difference between the switch weight X and the switch weight Z mod in the 30. I don't notice really a big difference anecdotally in the 34. I think it's just because that longer axle-to-axle platform and the longer brace height. I just don't notice that severe of a jump between the switch weight performance and the switch weight Z or the smooth mod. Definitely though, if you are one who does not want to deal with a rougher, more performance-driven draw cycle, think about in the 30 going to the switch weight Z mod. Now it's going to run you about 70, 75 bucks, 80 bucks, I forget the street price on them, for the modules to go from the performance to the Z mod, to the smooth mod. But this here I think is 27 and a half at 70 pounds, about 4 inches too short for me. But I'm still very impressed. That doesn't feel bad. Right, you can kind of tell you have the normal bow hump and dump in the back end. When I say hump and dump, the breakover to get into that 85% let off, and then when it wants to go, it's going to go. But I can say, like, it feels like a Mathews. Like if you enjoyed the Lift X series of bows in the 29.5, you're going to really love the ARC 30. It just has that same short, snappy, short axle-to-axle bow feel. And like I said, that's at 27.5 and 70 pounds, 85% let off. It feels really good. Although if you want to shoot, you have a bum shoulder, you want to shoot lighter poundage with a smoother draw, you can shoot 60, 65 pounds, get yourself the Z mods, and I think you'll notice a pretty stark difference. It'll feel better for you, and you'll want to shoot the bow more. When you shoot the bow more, you practice more. When you practice more, you become more accurate. So winner, chicken dinner there. You still have the limb shift technology. They came out with this on Lift X last year. I was very cautious about it. I'm like, great, you're putting the limb down with force and at an angle. Zero problems, none. I didn't have a single problem with the Lift X last year doing any sort of tuning with it cracking a limb, breaking any of the paint finish off. I was very impressed. Same string, 5-piece string set technology. We have the same integrates here up in the front, pick mount in the back, yada, yada, yada. The new thing is the front stabilizer, the integrated stabilizer. You can buy the ones that have a 7-degree down notch in them. So when you put this in here, instead of it sitting straight, it actually would lay in here at a 7-degree down angle. It's clever. If you have ever set up a bow with a front bar and a back bar system, the more weight you put lower, the more easily it is to bounce. So you can actually run this in a 7-degree down with less weight than if it was in a flat position. You might have to add an extra ounce or two. So you get to shave some weight off the bow. You get to play around with it. As a dealer gripe, and I'll put a warning on the screen, this is not for the end consumer, but just as a dealer gripe, if any dealers are watching, I don't want to have to stock this. Just make it so one bar can do both, because now if a person wants a 10-inch straight or a 10-inch 7-degree down in Kodiak brown, I got to stock both. As a small shop, that's a giant pain in the rear end. I wish Mathews would have just found a way, either machine a different hole for the same straight stabilizer, or make this so it can be 7° down this way, and then I flip it over here, and then it's straight, right? Just something. That would have been nice, because stocking these is not cheap. And I'm not Lancaster or a shop on the West Coast or in Nashville. So stocking all these stabilizers and whatnot, even though they are very high quality, do not get me wrong, it gets expensive quick. So as a dealer grade, just find a way to make one bar. Now I'm guessing, just looking at this, you could buy the one and flip this wherever you like. Because the cute thing about this is that you can store the bar inside. This was a huge plus for anybody that was shooting an integrated stabilizer from Mathews for me past couple years. They didn't have to take the stabilizer all the way off and set it separately from the bow when they had it in a case. They just pushed it all the way in. So you could, looks like you could make this work, you know, in that in a straight angle, or you could turn it out and flip it over. Mathews probably doesn't want me making this part of the video, but listen, this is the average guy review, the average shop owner review, so we're gonna make it. I do like they lightened up the limb pocket. They removed metal. I always wondered why Mathews had this huge, they still kept this massive amount of metal in their limb pocket, and I assumed it added a bunch of weight. But now, because it's now their third limb pocket iteration, going from the Phase 4 to the Lift series to now the Arc series, this is now their third limb leg iteration. So we went from the engaged limb legs to the exo limb legs, now we're in the Arc limb legs. So if you have an older Mathews limb legs, they will not fit the new bow. You got to pony up and buy the new set for this bow, but it will still function exactly the same. Just obviously you can't use the old one because of the new limb pocket system. The grip system is the same. They offer multiple different grip styles. The engaged grip will be coming with stock on it. I still don't like the texture they have on the backside, but that's just a me thing. They still offer the contour, the taper, the side plates, and this. I think there's another one I'm forgetting about. But if you do like a Mathews grip, you love the engaged grip, this is exactly what that feels like. You're not going to be missing anything there. If you come from another bow brand, let's say one that starts with an H and rhymes with toy, they do make that contour grip that's going to feel exactly like the bows that you're used to over there. Yeah, I think Mathews made a really, again, they do really well with the shorter axle-to-axle platforms for guys who really want that. The draw cycle feels like it's going to be an absolute pistol. I think if you're going to be shooting this, you know, in that 27 to 29 inch range where this bow is really meant for, even down probably to 26 inch range, you're beating some good arrow speeds in that 400 to 450 grains where most guys are going to land, you know, in that range. I think you're going to be well into the 270s, 280s, 290s, and that's really good. That's a normal average bow hunting speed, and you're going to be getting a lot of kinetic energy out of that arrow. Probably could shoot a fixed blade or mechanical. So that is the Mathews ARC 30. If you're interested in this bow, you want to come test drive it for yourself, come on down 21 North Front Street here in Phillipsburg, PA. You're more than welcome to ask any question about Mathews or any other brands we carry in our shop and test drive all the bows to your liking. If you have any questions about this bow, drop it down here in the YouTube comment section. Of course, you can reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram at Average Jack Archery. Hope you're able to get outside, enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation. Head down to your local Mathews dealer and check out the ARC 30 for yourself, and we'll get to see you next time.